So here are 3 shocking things that no one is telling you about the end times. First thing is the biblical existence of hybrids. Hybrids will exist during the last days, and a lot of people talk about this. But when was the last time someone pointed you to a verse in Revelation that actually talks about the existence of hybrids? Revelation does talk about hybrids. In Revelation 13:8 and Revelation 17:8, we read about beings whose names were never in the book of life. In order to have your name in the book of life, you actually have to be a human. These people were never human. Revelation makes a distinction between the earth dwellers, those who dwell on earth, or all who dwell on earth, and people from every tribe, tongue, people, and nation. Real people have their name in the book of life, but the earth dwellers, their names were never in the book of life because they're not truly human. The second shocking thing that nobody is telling you is the true purpose of the so-called tribulation. Most people will teach that the tribulation is about God's judgment on a rebellious or unbelieving humanity, or it's for the salvation of the Jewish nation. And both of those things are correct, but they're not the real reason for what we call the tribulation. Tribulation is about the transition between the way the world is now and how the world will be during the millennium. The first thing God wants to do is cleanse heaven. Heaven will no longer be accessible to fallen angels. They'll be cast to the earth. The second thing that God wants to do has to do with this transition to how the earth is going to be during the millennium. There aren't going to be any fallen angels on the earth during the millennium, during Christ's kingdom rule. Those entities will be gone. The beast will not be here, the false prophet, anybody who takes the mark of the beast. Any fallen entity, every single one of them, with the exception of 3, are going to be cast into the lake of fire at Christ's second coming. Satan will be put into a pit. Death and Hades, which are spiritual entities, they will be allowed to remain doing their thing during the end times, because death will still take place during the millennium, and so the place of the dead, Hades, will still be open. In addition, Christ is going to wipe out any kind of human opposition. These are the people who will be thrown into the winepress of God's fury, and they will be killed. The third shocking thing that nobody is telling you is about the rapture, and one of the main purposes for the rapture that's going to be taking place. Believers will be taking over the positions of the fallen angels who will be cast out of heaven. So as fallen entities are cast out of heaven, there's going to be Christians who are going to be brought into heaven, whether they're taken there in a rapture or whether they're martyred and then resurrected in heaven, like the fifth seal martyrs will be. That is one of the main purposes, is for believers to take the positions of the fallen sons of God as part of God's new divine counsel. So those are the 3 shocking things that nobody is telling you about the end times.